Hi, welcome back to the Law&Crime Network. I'm Linda Kenney Baden. I will be with you for the next 2 hours, but you have a choice. Right now, we are covering several cases. Tennessee versus Coons is in a break, but when it starts again, it'll be on our website. You know where to go, lawandcrime.com. We are also in Sentence Watch in the case of Florida versus Nelson, the man who was convicted of murder last week. We're waiting to see whether he gets death or life, and we are live in an amazing case dealing with child death. And I say amazing because the prosecutor was amazing. The case is Georgia versus the two Rosenbaums who are accused of killing their daughter and abusing another one. Let's listen to what's happening in court. So what you saw there, Nilima Singh, my guest for this afternoon, was the way defense attorneys cross somebody, right? Prior inconsistent statement. Tell us about it.
Right, so prior inconsistent statement will go in favor of defense in this case. So we have the EMT, and he's saying, he's asked, did you see the mother performing CPR over the child? All of a sudden on the stand, he can't remember. But what the defense is able to do is show a record of what he previously said. In this case, it's looking like the witness is actually stronger for defense than prosecution.
Do you think that he was trying to did he really forgot, or did he hedge his testimony, trying to help the prosecution? Because that's what the defense always thinks, right?
Sure. Linda, I gotta be honest, it's looking like this witness just doesn't want to be there. And I'm really hoping for prosecution's sake that they started with their weakest witness first. But he could seem like he cares less. And seeming like me from a viewer that it was an honest mistake.
It may have been an honest mistake, but I think the prosecution, I watched her opening, Daisha Young. Oh my God, the studio here is on fire, and we're way up the coast. I'm like here, I'm so hot from her opening statement. She was so hot, on fire. But she's trying to tell a story, isn't she? And why?
Certainly. Daisha was phenomenal, and Ms. Young has created a narrative that I think is really powerful and certainly going to stick with the jury. So Daisha is trying to show the story of, this couple that took in this child, and they were really seeking after her, maybe looking for attention and not having the purest of intentions the whole time. And so she's trying to be dramatic but authentic at the same time, and really already starting to kind of tug at the heartstrings of the jury members.
Do you think, though, maybe she went over the line when she picked up a defense exhibit? It was a picture, and she didn't like the picture. She said, "This is a lie," and then kind of threw it, and it landed down at the defense table, and the defense attorney, Corin Mull, said, "Excuse me, that's my exhibit." And then the judge said, "Pick it up." What do you think about that?
Linda, I got to tell you, I loved every second of it. And it almost seems like that defense fell into the trap. So instead of getting up there and starting with her defense statement and what was, on cue for her to say, she goes and she starts her entire argument on that exhibit. So well played for prosecution.
Oh, that's very interesting, because you are a New Jersey woman, okay? We love, Bob Bianchi. You were on with Bob before. Yeah. We always kid around New Jersey. We're New Jersey women, New Jersey girls. Not Bob was a New Jersey boy, obviously. He was a prosecutor in Morris County. He was not a prosecutor, he was the prosecutor in Morris County. But, New Jersey, as you know, is very close to the line on ethics rules. And do you think, let's take this case out of Georgia, put it in another state. Do you think that may have crossed the line under our New Jersey ethics rules?
I definitely think that in New Jersey, there might have been some kind of flirting with the lines of ethical violations. I don't know so much about in Georgia, but it seems like here the judge had no problem, kind of skirted over it, and luckily that falls in prosecution's favor.
Yeah, you're right, and I agree with you. I think it was, you want to be a ballerina sometimes on that line, but you can't fall over the line, and that may have been just a little bit much. But if she wins, if the prosecution wins because they have the story and because they have proved it beyond a reasonable doubt, then it really doesn't matter, does it?
Right, absolutely not. You're right, Linda.
Okay. So, you know what? I've been talking about the prosecution opening. Guess what we're going to do? We are going to watch that prosecutor, the opening right now. Her name is Daisha Young, and let's see if you think, like I think, that she was on fire. That is the prosecutor in Georgia laying out her case. And I'm going to say case rather than story, because she had a theme, Nilima. She said liars, abusers, and murderers, the Lamb theme. Now, why do you think she picked those 3 words, which sounds like a movie title, but unfortunately it's real life?
Well played for her, right? She chose 3 very powerful, simple words that are going to be the themes throughout the trial. But what's interesting is defense counsel picked up on this, and she made her theme the truth. So you'll hear in her opening, she repeatedly says the truth of the matter is, for similar reasons.
Because you have to have a theme. But you shouldn't play to the other side, should you? You shouldn't like say, oh, I'm going to have to respond to that.
I absolutely agree with you, and I think that that's something we're going to see throughout this trial. So you see defense is very reactive instead of being proactive, and I wonder if that's going to play in a role with her not being able to create her own narrative.
Well, let's talk about the defense attorney, because I'm a defense attorney. I was a prosecutor in Monmouth County, New Jersey, okay? But the defense attorney, she has two clients. She has Mr. and Mrs. Now, in our state, you cannot, that's called a conflict of interest, and in a criminal case, you cannot waive it. In a civil case, you can, but you cannot waive it. In Georgia, you can. What's the advantage and what's the disadvantage of that?
Right. So I think that what prosecution was trying to do, and the defense counsel mentioned this in her opening statement, is let's get the male in on this and let's see if he'll admit to any guilt or go against the female in this matter. But he didn't do that. And so that did not work in defense's favor. Also, in this matter, you'll see that because both people are being represented by the same attorney, there's similar themes. The stories are kept straight instead of two people turning against each other.
But then the theme then is obviously the girl, the little Layla, 2 years old. She had a transected pancreas, right? She had a gash all the way through the liver, and when I say all the way through, I mean from top to bottom, and she had other bruises. They say it was caused by CPR. Did the defense mention any experts in their opening?
So I think defense is certainly going to bring in experts in their opening that are going to talk about how CPR is supposed to be performed. And in fact, it's common that if CPR is performed incorrectly, then a pancreas can be ruptured.
So you know that did you look that up? Because that's very smart.
Someone might have mentioned it during openings.
Okay, so that's interesting that they're going to rely then on the medical testimony. And I guess they're going to say they adopted this child or took her in, right? Took her in the summer of 2015, and then November 17th, she's dead. Why would you adopt or even foster a child that you sought out if you're going to kill the child?
You know, what else is interesting is during defense's opening statement, they referenced that the parents that took in the child, the foster parents, would bring the child's Layla into school with them and post thousands of pictures. And to me, I'm wondering if that's kind of seeking attention. So maybe when they wanted to bring the child in, it wasn't so much for care, but maybe it was seeking attention for themselves.
Well, that is something that obviously the prosecutor should listen to this show, because she is so good, our guest. That's why we have them here on Law&Crime Network. We have to take a quick break. We'll be back. Stay with us.